What's up everybody, Trinity here, and welcome back to the 2nd Street Marvel. In today's comic book review, I'm going to be reviewing The Amazing Mary Jane issue number 2. Now this book is being written by Leah Williams. We got Carlos Gomez as the artist, Carlos Lopez is the color artist, and VC's Joe Caramagna is the letterer. Humberto Ramos and Edgar Delgado are the cover artists. And go ahead and take a look at that cover. You can tell who these artists are, the Ramos and Delgado, just all together. I mean, I don't know. I've been reading The Amazing Spider-Man, and they did quite a bit of work there with Nick Spencer on The Amazing Spider-Man. Now, this is issue number 2 of The Amazing Mary Jane. If you didn't watch my review on the first one, you should probably go back and watch it. And basically what we got here is Mary Jane has traveled to Los Angeles for an acting gig. She's an actress, and she got this. She got set up with a movie gig, basically through some events that had happened in The Amazing Spider-Man, and it was a pretty nice little setup. And to me, it really gave some context to what's going on in this book. And I gotta say, it was very, very insightful, because if you don't read it, you might miss kind of the setup for why this book ended up coming out. But basically, she's in Los Angeles doing this acting gig, and in the last issue, she had confronted the director about some creative decisions and things that were going on in the movie as far as her role is concerned. And it turns out that the director of the movie was actually Mysterio. And, he kind of explained to her what was going on with the movie, because she had some objections to it. And they basically came to see eye to eye on, making some creative changes within the book. And altogether, I thought the first issue was pretty good. And this second issue, I've got to say, builds upon that even more. We can see that they're sitting there making, shooting the movie, and all of a sudden it looks like there was some budgetary cuts for their production, and the crew comes in and starts taking away all the things, some of the different things that they need to shoot the movie, like, just different props and stuff that they need for shooting the movie. And we see that basically what happened was, the director had not been paying the bills to the company for the use of the equipment. And so now they have to go out and find some more funding for the movie, as their funding had been pulled. And we see that her and Mysterio are getting together, to try to go out there and get funding, and pretty much the door is being slammed in their faces. And Mysterio, who is playing as, he's basically impersonating this director here, and I'll go ahead and show you the director right here who he is impersonating. And I can't remember the director's name right off the top of my head, but after he's sitting there getting frustrated as all these different basically funders, people who want to back the movie, are slamming the door in their face, and he's pretty upset about it. He don't know basically how to close the deal. And so Mary Jane sits there and talks to him and says, hey, like, calm down. They have a real, I guess you could say, a moment like in Tommy Boy. Remember in Tommy Boy where Tommy Boy, ends up talking to that waitress and, gives her the turnaround on, getting those chicken fingers or whatever it was he wanted. And she goes back to the kitchen and says, yeah, well, we can go ahead and make this for you. And he, pulls that 180 with her. And then, then they go out and they're trying to sell their oil filters. And, the same thing kind of happens. Like, like he has an epiphany. Well, the same thing kind of happens in this book, and they go out and they end up getting some funding for their project by this guy who's running like an auto mechanic is pretty much what it is, who they go in and talk to, and decides to go ahead and basically fund their project. And so they got the funding back, and they can resume their shooting schedule. And then as they are getting ready to start shooting, they are once again interrupted by the guys who, the villains of this story, it seems like, who we were introduced to in the end of the first issue, and that is going to be the authentic Savage Six. Now, guys, altogether, I've got to say, if you've followed me here on the channel, you know that I have been pretty critical of Leah Williams and her writing. I just have not enjoyed any of the books she has done. Overall, I haven't enjoyed her writing. It seems to be devoid of any kind of humor or anything, just silly. Like, I don't know, I just haven't really liked it. But guys, this is 2 issues in a row. I've got to say, I've liked this book. The Amazing Mary Jane has actually been a pretty good read. I'm not sure if what happened with Leah Williams or anything, but maybe this was just the right title and the right story at the right time for her. But I've got to say, guys, like I said, I've been highly critical, and I don't do that to be mean or anything, because I just want to be mean and critical and just be an a-hole. But here, I'm tipping my hat to you, Leah Williams. Good work. Good job, Marvel. Good job. Whatever you did, whatever you said to Leah Williams, or whatever, I don't know. Maybe she had that Tommy Boy moment too with somebody that let her know something. And because this book right here, I liked this book. I will continue probably reading this series. I don't know, for as long as it goes on. It might be maybe 5-10 issues. Who knows? I just don't see it lasting very long. But I've got to say, this book has been quite enjoyable. I've liked it. I've liked seeing this Mary Jane and seeing what she's doing out there to, I don't know, to drive this story forward. It's really good. Now, I will say that this this title's not for everybody. Not everybody's going to enjoy this. Some people may not enjoy it. They're going to, talk about, Mary Jane being a Mary Sue or something like that. Well, she got her own series and all these kinds of things. But guys, if you read the kind of lead up to how this series spun out from The Amazing Spider-Man, I think it gives a lot of pretty cool context to why this book came out. And again, guys, I gotta say, I've quite enjoyed this book. And the art in this book, it's not super impressive. It's not like the best artwork out there in the world, but it's not bad, and it really does I think it really reflects what's going on in this book very well. The coloring's not too bad, but again, to me, it's not the most enjoyable art that you're gonna see out there. But again, it is. I've just got to say, like I said, guys, I'm tipping my hat here to Marvel, Leah Williams, and everything that's going on here, because they finally put out one of these books that I actually enjoy. Like going into this series, I didn't think I was gonna like it. Issue number 1, I read it. I was like, I don't know, and I read it again. I'm like, it's actually not a bad book. Issue number 2 is not a bad book. It was, like I said, my hat's off to you. They finally did it. They finally did it. They got me. And this is what, like I said, I've been kind of following Leah Williams and some of her writing, to be critical in the sense that I want to see her improve. I want to see her do something good. And I think they finally hit the mark. I think this was just the right title, the right story, whatever it is. I hope to see it continue with this series. I hope they don't take that step back to what she's been doing in, like, Gwenpool Strikes Back or Chastity or any of the other titles she's written that I just have not liked overall. Again, guys, I think this is a good book. Let me know down in the comments below, have you read The Amazing Mary Jane? If so, what are your thoughts on it? And if not, does this sound like a title that you might be interested in reading? That's all I have for this video today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning into this Second Street Marvel. If you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed, click the little bell and all of that good stuff. Give this video a thumbs up or give it a thumbs down, whatever. I don't take it personal, but make sure that you share it with a friend and invite them to come hang out with us here on the Second Street Marvel, because we'd love to talk some comic books with you all. You all have a very good day. Have a great rest of your week. Happy reading, and we'll see you in the next video. Later.